Hello everyone. So today I'm actually going to, you know, tell you something about that. As you know that right now all over the India there is a shortage of LPG which is happening because there is a lot of restriction on the Strait of Hormuz, and not a lot of countries are getting the amount of LPG and the amount of crude oil that we actually get. We are not getting that much through the Strait of Hormuz. So right now, as you can see here, the Prime Minister also has giving his, you can say his statement. And let's first hear what he's saying, and then I will try to, elaborate that what did he actually mean by that.
पश्चिमी एशिया की हालत चिंताजनक है।
Yeah, like the way he is saying that, there is a ongoing conflict that is going on in the West Asia. And the problem with this conflict is that there is no guarantee that to which certain amount of time this war will like continue, right? So that is the reason also why you will see there are a lot of physical assets like gold and bitcoins and like lot of uh, assets that are very easy to liquidate, that are very easy to sell. They are also crashing right now because of that crash.
बीते 2-3 हफ्तों में जयशंकर जी ने और हरदीप पुरी जी ने इस विषय पर सदन को जरूरी जानकारी दी है।
There is also one more thing that I have to add, like from my side at least, is that why the India was not really prepared for the shortage of LPG, right? Why didn't we have the buffer for the LPG cylinders world, like the country wise? Because if I tell you, my father lives in Gujarat, right? And he lives in Surat. So in Surat also, he told me yesterday that there are like long standing queues are there in front of petrol pumps, and it is taking at least half an hour to refill your vehicle. So the actually the condition in India is going to, unfortunately, I shouldn't really say this thing because then it might create, because if that video gets like a lot of views, then it might create chaos and panic. But I have to say one thing, that the next 6 or 8 months is going to be very hard for India. At least it's going to be worse for India, especially because our country, our population is so huge that we cannot also have a, you can say, like we can't even have the buffer for like 10 months or 11 months, because our country's population is 1.4 billion. In that, whatever the LPG that we used to have, we will consume it. Whatever like prior to this war also, whatever the LPG, that liquefied petroleum gas, that we import in India, we won't had any capacity to store it for the next 6 7 months. It might happen with crude oil, but with LPG it does not goes the same way. So whatever we used to import, we would consume that. But now, because of that war, this thing is actually going to get worse than what it is right now. And unfortunately, I shouldn't say this thing, but India is going to face a lot of problems in near future. At least for the next 3 to 4 months, 5 months, we will see we will see a nationwide, you can say, like a nation-wise shortage we are going to see, and there would be a lot of panic in across the country. And I'm saying this today on 24th March. I can vouch for this because I'm saying this thing, from my personal experience, that whatever the war that I have seen in past also, like remember when the Russia attacked Ukraine, and everybody thought that, okay, you know what, Ukraine is gonna just, they are going to conquest Ukraine in matter of 2 to 3 months. What happened? What happened? You see, this is 2026. That war started in 2021, and still that war is going on even to this date. I don't know how many Russian soldiers were killed, how many Ukrainian soldiers were killed, but that war is still going on. Okay, then what happened with Israel Palestine? The Israel attacked Palestine for the last 2 years, but still they are obliterating that whole strip. And now imagine Iran, which is way more bigger country than than Ukraine and Palestine, and their army is way more stronger than these two countries, then imagine this conflict. Do you seriously think that this conflict will, that Donald Trump will be able to, end this conflict in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. This war is going to extend. I will not be surprised if this war doesn't end even to the end of this year, if this war doesn't end. Why I am saying this thing, why am I very confident about this thing? Because Iranian supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei, he was the supreme leader. He was the founder of Islamic revolution in Iran. He got killed. You know what I'm saying? So now Iran doesn't have any, any, like, they don't have anything right now. Their supreme leader got killed, right? And they have went completely rogue right now. They don't have anything to lose anymore. So from their side, they are not going to end this war anytime soon. Okay, and because the US and Israel killed their supreme leader, and if they wouldn't have killed their supreme leader, the things that right now that India, the reason, the LPG shortage that we are facing right now in the month of March. Imagine the war is just started on 2 March, and right now it is, what is the date today? 24th March, and our whole country has a LPG shortage. Now imagine what will happen in the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And if I'm not surprised if this war way goes to the end of the year, then what will happen? What's going to happen? Huh? Do you seriously think Iran is going to just, throw their weapons for that? Absolutely not. They're going to fight, and they're going to block that Strait of Hormuz. Right now they're allowing certain countries, China and some tankers of, not all the tankers, but some tankers of India, to pass through that because they think we are their ally. Okay, but right now they have the full control on that canal. Whenever they want, they can shut it down, and the moment they will shut it down, the prices of fuels will go skyrocketed, rising. So this is the reason, why this thing is really concerning me right now a lot, is that this conflict is actually going to make a very huge shortage of fuel and liquefied petroleum gas in India, at least in the next 3 to 4 months. Because you imagine, right now, what is the date today? It is 24th March. The war started on 2 March, so it's been just 22 days till this war started. And in just 22 days, my father lives in Surat. He was telling me that yesterday when he went to the petrol pump, it took him around 40 minutes to refuel his vehicle. 40 minutes. On a daily note, it doesn't happen. You go on the petrol pump and you just refuel your vehicle in a span of 5 to 10 minutes. But he told me that literally there was 100 meters of queue was there in front of, the petrol pump. So this war is actually going to create a lot of shortage in India, and the government, it's obviously the government doesn't want to create panic and chaos across the country. But I am telling you this thing, whatever, because I have a lot of interest in geopolitics. All the time, I always stay updated on all the things that is happening around the world, and whatever my understanding is, India is actually going in a deep shit, and we are going to face a lot of problems in the next 3 4 months if our government doesn't do anything. And it's the government responsibility to make sure that this panic doesn't go nationwide, because once this go nationwide, people will come to protest, people will make strikes. The schools and colleges will has to shut down, because all the kids who are living in hostels or everywhere, they cannot allow to, they can't really let them stay in the colleges and schools, right? So they have to shut it down. So this fuel crisis is actually going to give a lot of damage to our country. First listen to what he said, and then after that I will continue.
अब इस संकट को 3 सप्ताह से ज्यादा हो रहा है। इसका पूरे विश्व की अर्थव्यवस्था पर, लोगों के जीवन पर बहुत ही विपरीत असर हो रहा है। इसलिए पूरी दुनिया इस संकट के जल्द से जल्द समाधान के लिए सभी पक्षों से आग्रह भी कर रही है। नेशनल सिक्योरिटी से जुड़ी भी वो दुनिया के दूसरे देशों के साथ एक बड़ा हिस्सा समंदर में आवश्यक है कि भारत
So this
की
is
संसद
basically
से
what is they saying. I don't want to like, you know, run the whole video, but this thing is actually going to be a problem in future a lot. So I urge people to, have like have a stock of LPG, that you do not have to face a lot of problem in future. Because whatever my understanding is, I can vouch for this thing. This war is not ending in the next 6 to 7 months. Okay, it was not Palestine, right? Because imagine in the case of Palestine, they didn't have any canal that they can control, or they didn't have any physical aspect where they can damage the world's economy, right? They didn't have that collateral where they can damage the world's economy. But Iran, it had. It can damage the world's economy. It can make, like, inflation will go like skyrocket and high for the next 2 to 3 quarters of in India. The first quarter already got ended. The second quarter, the third quarter is going to be very hard, at least for India also. So that is the reason why it is very, very important for people to stay updated with what is happening around the world. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.